Hello everyone and welcome back to this channel. My name is Emma and I like to build pretty things, and recently I have been obsessed with building bedrooms in The Sims. I don't know where this came from, but I've really been trying to experiment with different styles, different setups, different size rooms. So I'm going to show you today 10 of the ones that I have done. Hopefully this will give you a little bit of inspiration for when it comes to decorating your own bedrooms. Don't forget to like and also subscribe, but let's get to these rooms. So this is the first room that I want to show you. This is probably the biggest room actually, and it is quite a large one. I try to keep these more on the small to medium size. The key thing that I want to show off here is probably the alcove area behind the bed. I decided to have a little bit of an experimentation here. So we obviously have a window, and then in front of that we actually have some kitchen countertops, which I then hid with a sign. I can't remember exactly what item this is, but I'm sure there are other items that you can do to get this same effect. And then I was able to put some plants up there, got some hanging plants as well, and of course the pillars. And then to me this just made the perfect place to put the bed. I feel like it just gives it some depth and just something a little bit extra, so it's kind of fancy. And then obviously we have some simple bedside tables. We've got a chair and a cushion over in the corner just so you can have somewhere just to sit and relax. And also there is a wardrobe and kind of a vanity area. I really like this vanity setup with the mirror and the divider on the wall as well, just to give it something a bit extra, so it's not just like a mirror shoved on the wall. I just wanted to achieve that. There is also a dresser and a mirror over on the left hand side as well, but overall this whole color palette is very neutral. It's quite beige, which I think for a bedroom is quite a nice kind of color palette to go for because it's very relaxing and zen. For number 2, I decided to go down the route of creating a bedroom that I feel would be good for a teen, and for this color palette I decided to go for a light blue color theme and then just add in a few little pops of pink here and there. So there is on the desk area, there's a couple pots of pink there, and like on the bedside table. I was mainly inspired by the couch, which you will find in front of the window, which I just thought would be the perfect place for a teen to read a book, maybe chat on the phone. That's something very 90s coded, I guess. The bed is also a nice kind of 4-poster bed. I kind of wanted this like vintagey kind of wood color, and then I added this drapery over the top, which is from the high school pack, I believe. It's very pretty and it really kind of adds to builds. I used this when I did some nurseries as well, and I really like it. But overall, I feel it does have those nods to that teen bedroom, and I really like the desk setup as well. I feel like that's the perfect thing to have in a teen room. Nowadays, everyone wants a desk there. Room number 3 may also be a really good teen room, but I don't think these would be the same sort of girls. This one, I decided to really push myself and go for a dark kind of alternative look, but I also wanted to keep in some like pops of color, so I decided to mix in the pink, the purple with the black, which was a little bit of a brave choice, but I kind of love the way that it turned out. We have the bed, and I decided I wanted to keep in some flowers in there, so I did add these kind of vine things, which are mainly used for exteriors, but I decided why not, we can place them indoors as well. And then I just went with the iron wrought bed, which I feel like complemented the whole black furniture quite nicely. Over in the alcove back here, we also have the desk set up, which I tried to kind of make the most of the space that we have, so I added in some little cabinets and also some shelves up top. Obviously clutter is a must for any teenager, so we went to town with that. And there is also kind of a little wardrobe here. I didn't want a full wardrobe, so I just decided to add in the hangers. Obviously the pink light mirror was a definite choice. I just thought it worked perfectly here, and the dresser as well. So there are some nice details here. I really like the wall art here as well. I feel like they kind of all match really nicely and kind of stick with that color theme, which is good. In contrast to all of that darkness, I decided to kind of attack that neutral color theme again, and here is a very white kind of rattan inspired room. And I also wanted to kind of play around with the back piece here. I can't remember exactly what these items are. I'm sure you'll be able to find them, but they are kind of wall art pieces which I've kind of merged together. They don't actually exist as one piece. I just thought it was kind of working for me and just gave the bed a little bit more of some detail behind behind it, which I thought was quite fun. And then the rest of the room, it's kind of tried to match a little bit just so it feels cohesive. Like we've got the wardrobes, the dresser, they all kind of look the same, and obviously that bed has that detail as well. It does feel, again, very light and airy, which I do really love for a bedroom, but this one is obviously a lot smaller than the first one that I did show you that was in this kind of color palette. This room again is quite warm toned, but I really wanted to add a more modern feel to it, so I've gone in with this kind of bed setup and this whole kind of quite sleek furniture for this room. And behind the bed I decided to use the new shelves and the dividers from the sleek bathroom set, and I think they work quite nice to kind of give it like a little bit of a ledge, and it's a perfect place to add lots of clutter. Realistically, I'm not sure how you would see this in real life, but I kind of like the way that it looks in The Sims. And then either side of the bed, just to kind of frame it, we have some windows and this big piece of wall art. Around the room there is kind of just some benches and some seating just to sit. There's also a mirror and obviously the wardrobe. I wanted it to be quite functional but still quite open, and I really do love this big fluffy rug in the center. It just feels like it would be really comfy on your toes. But as I said, it's quite a warm color palette. There's lots of browns and kind of different shades of browns, but I also do have some more kind of like gold and oranges in here as well, just to mix it up a little bit. For number 6, I had been watching Ransom Canyon on Netflix, and that kind of inspired me to do like a log cabin / ranch bedroom. And for a bit of a twist, I decided to challenge myself a little bit and try and incorporate some red into it. Red I'm not a huge fan of, so I decided to go for the red bed, and there is also a little bit of red in the rugs as well and in the wall art. It is tiny, but it is a lot of red for someone who isn't particularly a fan of it. There is lots and lots of wood here, and trying to get the tones right to make them match was so hard, but I think it kind of paid off in the end. One of my favorite things here that I did was I added it in this little log bench and put it at the end of the bed, then added some cushions or pillows into it just to give it like a little seating bench area. And there's also the fireplace as well. I felt like this would be nice just to have in the bedroom, just somewhere a little bit cozy where you can sit and relax. But overall, I do really like how this turned out, and it would be nice to have like a small little log cabin inspired by this. So maybe I will work on that in the future. As I was kind of working through all of these different bedrooms, I realized I hadn't done anything that was like really florally and cottagey, which is normally where I tend to kind of steer my designs towards. So I decided to go for that with this neck design, and I wanted to kind of keep it all in this blue color palette because I really liked the way that this wallpaper looked. Trying to find a bed to match this was a little bit hard, but I decided to go for that whitewashed vintage kind of effect wood again, and this one kind of matched okay. I really like this kind of simple kind of design. The setup of the room was just the bedside tables, the kind of mirror in the corner, the dressers, and then just somewhere to sit just to like fill it out a bit. But I really love the different colors here. I think they work quite nicely, and it's a nice kind of cool color palette. To say things don't really match all that well, I like the shades of the different colors, and I feel like the wallpaper, even though it's quite busy, I kind of tried to tone down the rest of the furniture and the bedding, etc., just to make it feel like it wasn't too much going on, that you wouldn't want to rest here at all. For this next one, I wanted kind of a very kind of neutral style room again, but with like more pink elements, but also with more kind of a natural, maybe more Scandinavian style look to it. So that's what I went for here. For this one, I decided to have the window as the main feature behind the bed, and I really like the way that this kind of 4-poster style bed works. It has the nice curtains on the side of them, so it kind of gives it that very feminine feeling to it. For the bedside tables and also like the desk, vanity, and the wardrobe, I feel like these pieces do have that like more Scandinavian look to them, but there are some good details here. I thought it was nice to have like a whole vanity setup with the makeup and add in some little like bits of clutter with the items on the shelves and also on top of the wardrobe. I feel like plants really do work nicely in this sort of style, so that's why I've added in a few here and there. And I like the ottoman and the rug combination at the end of the bed, just to make it feel a little bit more kind of like sophisticated and some more clutter in the room itself. But overall, really like this color palette. I wish there was perhaps a better kind of wall art I could have used, but it still worked out okay in the end, I think. I don't normally enjoy decorating with darker color tones, but I did recently buy a new pack and they had these wonderful rugs with it. I think it was the Life and Death pack, and they also had some nice wall art options, so I wanted to try and incorporate them with the build. So I decided to go for like a navy kind of style room with this dark wood color, which I think they do kind of work quite nicely together. Maybe I should have gone for a different kind of color for the carpet, but I think overall it does add a little bit of lightness to the room, which is quite nice. So over in the bed we have the nice kind of thick wood bed, and there's also those wood kind of bedside tables, which again they kind of match quite nicely with all of the furniture that's going on. The different areas, we kind of had the vanity over on the left hand side along that wall, and I wanted to include this trunk because I feel like it had that little bit more fantasy element, which does kind of tie in with the wall art that is going on here. And again, there is some more knickknacks on display here with like the jewelry on the dresser. There is also this really big mirror that I wanted to use because I feel it's very ornate and did kind of fit with the whole vibe of this room. Overall, the blue I think kind of worked. It's quite a large bedroom, so there is a lot of space here, but I think it doesn't feel too open. Like there is clearly items here to help fill the space as well, which is nice. And the final room I want to show you was again in this shape room. It's very similar to the other ones because I was going to try and do all of the rooms the same size, but I changed my mind halfway through. And this is a teal and a brown kind of color palette, which was a little bit out there. I thought maybe this will work, maybe it won't. But again, you might see some of the same furniture that I used in the last one, like the wardrobe. But I wanted to use this wall art, kind of help inspire the rest of the room. So I wanted to maybe get some pops of orange and yellow in here as well to kind of pick out those elements from the wall art. So there is like the basket, there's also some little yellow flowers on the shelves as well. The rug here, I'm not 100% sure that this does go, but it just kind of added in some more fun patterns that there isn't really going on here because the bedding is quite simple. For a small room, I do like this kind of style and how much stuff we managed to get in with like the wardrobe, the vanity, and the door placement kind of helps that, I think. This color combination, I don't think it's something that you see all that often, so it was fun to play around with. So there we have it. There are 10 different rooms that I kind of experimented with and had some fun decorating. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite, and if there's any other rooms that you would like me to see take on, let me know in the comments as well. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.